So, David, the midterm elections, market at all-time highs. What say you?
Well, we had, like you said, we had light news. Jobless claims came in a little under expected, but they revised the last 2 months upwards. So that kind of helped the markets. We're kind of a little sideways motion here, but still at all-time highs again after nearly a 9.8% mini correction, not a true correction. But I want to talk about midterm election cycles. Of course, everybody knows now that the Republicans now control both sides of Congress, first time since 2006. And what that means historically, and there's a lot of meaning to that to markets, it's actually best when you have a Democratic president, believe it or not, and a Republican-controlled Congress. Typically, you're going to have about a 15.1% average rate of return during that time frame, as opposed to when you have the same party controlling both Congress and the presidency, about 4.2%. So, I call it kind of, guide, not gospel. Is it something I pay attention to? Yes. Does it mean that you're going to earn 15% over the next 12 months? No, I wouldn't say that's a guarantee. But the point is, these are things that you need to pay attention to. The other thing that's really that you have to pay attention to is the dollar. The dollar is back to king dollar. The dollar is moving markets. We are the best economy in the world right now. And what's that effect is you've seen oil prices fall. That's been great for consumers. One concern is that you've seen really retail stocks really get beat up, and that doesn't make a lot of sense considering that's discretionary income. The other area I want you to be careful of is with gold. Gold's gotten annihilated, down over 40%. It was up 13% this year, now down over 3%. And bonds. Bonds are a possible concern as the Fed looks to raise interest rates. So those are my thoughts for the week, and hopefully I want to wish everybody, all the veterans, a happy Veterans Day that they had this week, and thank you for all your service.
Yeah, and I agree with that as well. David, there's a video that I want to play here from CNBC this week, and I got to admit, this, you got to love live TV. I am a news director's nightmare. If you noticed the camera going a little crazy earlier, that would have been this guy's fault right here. That was me, because we were supposed to play the video. Okay. So sorry to put you and our audience through a whirlwind there, but I do want to play this video because I think it's important regarding CNBC and the marketing all-time highs. And I just want to get your comments on now we are at the 4th largest time in U.S. history where we haven't seen that correction, that 10% correction. Let's take a look at this video and have you comment on it when we come right back.
To stay in record territory, I want to point out some sectors moving. Toll Brothers has given a nice lift to all the home building stocks. They reported preliminary orders. Generally pretty good, 10% on the order side, a little below expectations, but the earnings were good. The numbers, or at least guidance that we're giving there, still pretty good, up 3% there. Hovnanian also doing well. Retailers have weak. You heard Dom talking about JCPenney. Abercrombie on Friday pre-announced. They got some downgrades today. The whole sector is weak. We'll get JCPenney on Wednesday, Walmart on Thursday. Nobody's expecting too much. Walmart's numbers will actually be lower than last year if they come in line with the guidance. China stocks have been strong. I told you this morning that investors are going to be able to buy a lot of Chinese-based stocks beginning next Monday through Hong Kong. That's going to be a very, very big change. We'll have more on that in the next couple of days. And finally, Sue, want to mention here, we've got very good numbers overall in earnings, still up 9% as we bring the quarter to a close. Margins, though, more importantly, near 10%. That is essentially a record. The 10-year average for margins, 8.5%. And Tyler and Sue, despite all the concerns about inflation in some areas, as well as revenue weakness.
All right, David, so there's the economy out there, and there's the one between your own ears. You saw that I think they're talking about earnings were up. But what about your financial plan right now? You have a market that's hitting all-time highs, overdue for that 10% correction. What's the best piece of advice you can give here to our audience regarding what you can do with your retirement plan, your financial plan?
Well, I think one piece of tax advice right now, and I know you have Mr. Jennings on here who knows a lot more than I do, but we do give a lot of tax advice and involve other professionals like Doug. And there's a new law that passed basically that allows 401k participants to actually create tax-free Roth conversions for free, which is really, really significant. And you have to check with your plan administrator and plan documents, but it's something that we already have clients that we're working with this on. and it's under excess contribution. So it's a way to allow people, if you're 59 and a half or older, you can actually create tax-free income from your 401k plans. And that's a brand new 2014 law that is something that we're already using with our clients. So taxes are always something that we can control at some level. And so that's probably my best advice. And just be careful. We're at all-time highs again, and the market's going to be volatile, and it has been. So just be careful and make sure you have a plan.
Well, the thing on taxes, David, is that whether the market goes up or down, reducing your tax liability always makes sense, right? So we're going to actually talk to Doug Jennings about that here in just a moment. But David, you got this book out now, Successonomics, co-written with Steve Forbes and other financial guys. You give this out to our radio listeners and certainly here to the viewers of the American Dream for free. If you'd like a free signed copy of David's book, Successonomics, and if you'd like to get a free review of your financial plan, he's going to waive a $1,200 expense. Give this to you for free if you just visit him online today, reyesplan.com. I highly encourage anyone tuned in right now. I don't care if you have $5,000 or $5 million. This is one of the best in the business, and he can help you. He'll sit down with you and give you a free book in the process and that free review. Thanks, David. Appreciate the information today.